Okay, you have to understand something that is very hard for you to believe. Boy, it's like pulling teeth here. You have to understand what, no, why the gospel was created to begin with. It was created to replicate the Torah because it worked so well with the Israelites. And now they were doing the same thing to the Jews from Judea because they were causing a lot of problems for the government. Because why? The government, see, you guys went off the story, but the story was written in a time, and there might have been, you know how there's agendas now? Even everything is something as simple as Christmas. Everything has a backdrop to it. So why wouldn't you think that there was a backdrop back then? It's possible that the gospel was contrived to end something that was at that time seemingly endless. Like, imagine a world where like we felt so passionate about God, where like if I wish they would come out with a Marvel movie. That world, you know what I'm saying? Not today. We live that life. We need to go pay. You get $32 billion and I can't even pay my rent. So imagine a world where like we actually believed in God, and we believed in God so profusely that we refused and rejected all and any kinds of acts such as movies, or at that time, see, you have to understand, like Rome was a byproduct of Greece, and Greece was on their statue building swag. They really marbleized that stuff. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And then Rome took it to another whole nother level, doing the whole little statues about their Caesars and stuff like that. Man being God. Now it's one thing when the statue look like it's a half crow, half monkey, but like this a whole man that my kid had to look at. What you trying to say? That we live forever? We don't live forever. You tell my kid I'm gonna live forever, I'm gonna kick you. Not gonna do it. And that's what Rome was doing that was pissing a lot of the Jews off. Rome had one law. Rome had one law. This was Rome's law. Okay? And this was what pissing the Jews off. Rome said, you could believe in any God that you want to believe in. You just have to include Caesar. Caesar has to be God. So it was cool in the beginning because the Jews was like, all right, cool, but we're gonna stick to our God. You do know that. And for a minute, I say everything kind of got twisted after Octavius, but like for a minute, it was straight. Then Tiberius. Anyways, um, so the hardcore Jews weren't going for it. The Roman Empire switched up, and then they try to say that y'all had to worship Caesar like he was God. And this is when they drew a line. And then, y'all all forget about these Jewish wars that almost bankrupt Rome. They were look, Rome had more problems to deal with than these Jews. They were trying to expand and become the whole empire of the world. The sun never set on the empire. They were trying to be all in territories that they had no business, throwing stones at the river because they mad because they can't get to Scotland. I don't know where they're trying to go, but they got mad and started throwing rocks at the river, collecting seashells. But look, so what I'm saying is like they had bigger fish to fry other than the Jews. And they were sick every time Rome go and build a statue of Julius or whatever, the Jews would come tear it down. Vandalism. You know what I'm saying? Not only was it disrespectful, it was making Rome look weak. That's why they had to go to war with the Jews constantly. And it was bankrupting them. That was the problem. So uh, they devised a plan to end the war, you know? And the plan wasn't their own. They didn't come up with it themselves. No, they had an insider. Yeah, I know what the ones who know what I'm talking about know who I'm talking about. Who turned the tides, snitched, so to speak, gave up the sauce, told the enemy what the secret was. And then the enemy began to use the secret against the Jews. And once the Jews fell, the Gentiles had, they had no help. They had no hope. But idolatry, paganism, you call it whatever you want. But once the Jews were contaminated, I'm telling you, how it happened is it happened. And so they said, look, you mean to tell me if we write a book that says the war is over, they gonna go for it? Run it. Yeah. Let's write a book. And then once the war is over with, we're gonna tell people what happened about a man who lived and died on the cross and then was resurrected and floated into the sky. It's gonna be great. Marvel gonna get the rights one day. I'm sorry, but it's hilarious how things mirror each other. So anyways, so that's pretty much come on, yeah. This man that you call Paul, the apostle, he worked for the church. Ask yourself, is the church doing a good job today? Are they even involved today? Or are they just glorifying and tooting their own horn? When you can't tell the difference between the church and Oprah Winfrey, we got a problem. Are they doing their job? Are they separating the difference using the laws of principalities? Or are they just, stuck in the middle of law and order? That's what the gospel was designed to do. It was designed to make you believe that the war was over with, when all actuality, it was only over with because you stopped fighting. You gave up because they told you a story about a savior who gave up. They didn't give up. They didn't stop. They did not quit. And then the world get darker. And evil seems to be only 3 clicks. Well, it used to be 3 clicks away. Now you can it's everywhere. From in our school systems to our behavior, downright to our ambitions, And we can't see the disconnect. We reading something that's telling us to behave in a way that justifies a division that exists for the sole sake of keeping power and those who have it separated from those who are essentially a victim of their own belief. The superstitious, who are waiting for something, anything. Don't worry, you're going to get it. Your savior, your microwavable savior is coming. The one that's going to be here in a minute. Long ass minute. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? When is this going to happen? Oh, just, before we answer that, let me make sure you tithe in. Are you praying? Did you buy this book? And are you following so social? Come on. It was never about that. It was never the story was never about ending anything. It was all about standing up. You want the gospel that should have been the story? The Jews didn't give up. They didn't go for it. They knew that this had been done before. And then you would have got a whole different gospel. Imagine that.